or coaches have like a spin on their name, so it could be a little
Yeah.
different.
See, that's one of the reasons I went with Icelandic. Is I didn't want a overly complicated name, but I still wanted a bit of personality in it.
Right, right, right. Okay, so we are officially live from our NBFL game of the week between the Pittsburgh Steelcurs and the Kansas City Thieves. Apparently, the teams were so eager to go, they decided to start the first turn before I was ready. But you know what? As long as I have a good game of Blood Bowl, that's probably more important.
Exactly.
All right, as we were talking about, the Pittsburgh Steelcurs of the AFC North looked like they were in a dominant position early in the season, and now not as much according to Astaflix and the NBFL standings. So
Yeah, lost 2 games. So in their last 5 games, they've lost three, tied one, and won one.
okay, so 5-1-3 overall, which means 6-1-3. Cleveland is technically leading the division, but Cleveland has played their 10th game. This will be Pittsburgh's 10th game, so just a mere game behind.
Yeah, so if Pittsburgh wins, then they're tied for the division lead, which is almost unthinkable considering this.
Because Ark won
The
5 games the first half of the season. That was,
yeah.
yeah. Let's
If
see.
I remember correctly, Zarek started something like 4-0.
Sounds about right. I can go back and look in a second. For the AFC West, Kansas City at 3-2-4. Definitely not out of the mix. Denver in the lead right now at 6-0-4, but a win here puts them at 4-2-4. That'd be 34 points, so still within striking distance. Because Jamon won the AFC West last season, actually had the number 2 seed if memory serves, but his team can slowly get chipped apart, and that lead can dwindle with 4 weeks to go.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's see.
And I mean,
NFL schedule. Let's see older tournaments. We're talking about the AFC North.
yes.
Da-da-da. All right.
This is
So
stylistically also, it's a very interesting matchup. Or at least I feel like, because Chaos Renegades are not super known to the NBFL landscape. They're mostly recent edition. I mean, this team's pretty old. Like, this team's, very, very high in TV, very big and everything. But, Renegades versus Orc is not a typical matchup, I would say.
no, not in this league for sure. KC, I want to say this is like their 5th season, but Pittsburgh, this is their 3rd season, I believe. They went 5-1-1 to open the season the first half. They won 2, 3, 4 straight wins to open before dropping their first game. Then they beat Wichington, which is no small feat, in round 6, and then they tied Dallas, dwarf team, in round 7. So very good first half, but second half not as successful. Do you remember who they faced so far?
Yeah, so their last game was against Doofer's Las Vegas Sinners,
Okay, not an easy
where
one.
yeah, where he lost a player but he killed a really good, I think it was like witch or something like that.
Okay.
Anyhow, and then just before that, he played the Denver Broncos and lost in a very close game, 0-1.
Okay, so yeah, I mean Denver, as we said, leading the division. Las Vegas, Dufers got a heck of a team. Record's pretty solid. So those are two, tough games that you couldn't quite pull out. So Pittsburgh all of a sudden finds themselves in a dogfight with Cleveland, and Captain Malcor's Chaos team surging forward, and the AFC North may not be as simple as we once thought.
Okay, I have to say, between both teams, I would still expect Zarek to take the division,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, if he doesn't win now, like if he draws, he's going to be like 4 points behind. So everything's possible.
For sure. I'm guessing based on the fact that I didn't mention Cleveland in my analysis that Kazarek won the first head-to-head meeting, but that means they'll face off here in the coming weeks. Um,
Um,
KC is also a weird team.
yes.
Obviously, as you said, it's a renegade team. They've been around for several seasons, and they are a huge, huge TV normally. They're only 2580 this game, but that's also because they're literally missing 3 players.
Yeah, three superstars.
Yeah, that is the weird thing about this team. Like, so many of their linemen, I mean, the roster is mostly the Renegade linemen. 78 SPPs, 30 SPPs, 50 SPPs. Like, they've got 3 to 4 skills on like almost every single player,
Yep.
if not every single one. Oh, there's one with
Yep.
29 SPPs. What a scrub. Oh
But
wait,
he's
he's
plus
strength
strength.
4 with
Yeah.
block and 2 away from 31.
I will say though, Arcturus, or at least in NBFL, is notorious for having gigantic teams.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, he played Orcs back in the day, and I have fond memories of playing against his Orcs when I had like a million inducements against him.
All right, there's a foul there on the troll. Interesting, but it does work and knocks him out. That is
Yeah.
the biggest thing Kansas City like forces teams to deal with. They put their 3 bigs on the line, and the Minotaur's new, so his former player was much better. He had like 100 SPPs.
Yeah.
The ogre, block, stand firm, guard, break tackle. The troll, who just got knocked out, blodge, stand firm, guard. Those are very good players. The Minotaur was minus MA, but he was block and guard and all that stuff too. Most teams cannot block 3 strength 5 guard players on the line, and a lot try, fail, and then realize they messed up, and then the rest of the half goes poorly. I remember poor Claz, he's trying out his Necro this season. I think he played Kansas City early on, and he tried to use Ram Tut and the Wolves and the Golems and block the line of scrimmage. I
It
don't
did
think they
not go
they didn't
well.
move a square, and then his entire team is stuck, and the rest of the half went poorly. So
I
in that
have
respect,
a
Kansas City's very difficult. Not to mention half their team is claw and mighty blow and plus
yeah,
strength, and it's just a very tough team for most people to deal with.
and also I have a little quiz for you, XCon.
Okay,
They've played 70 games. This is their 71st.
Kansas City.
Yeah, how many players do you think are either dead or cut from their roster in 70 games?
If memory serves, it's like 8 now.
Uh, well, according to their past players, it's 7, and 2 of those were retired without perms
Hmm.
or anything. So he lost a total of 5 players.
Yeah, I should mention that too. Kansas City, for all the middling 500-ish records they've had very good health luck, and part of that
Yes.
is because you have the giant line of scrimmage, and then you have the claw bash that you press onto teams, and so they can't really block you back as effectively. Now, orcs could be different in that regard because orcs have a bunch of strength 4, and they can go toe to toe with you in certain spots, and your linemen are like, that's kind of a big guy. I'm not sure I can take him on.
Yeah.
But no, I remember I've looked at that team and like the history, and I'm like, wow, there's nobody on that past players
Yeah.
page.
I mean, I am playing Norse, so your mileage may vary, but in like one season, I've lost more guys than he has.
In 5 seasons or whatever. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so it's like, I have 7 games, he has 70. We lost the same amount of players.
But hey, you've got more wins, so I mean,
Yeah.
I would say like blood for the blood god, but I'm not sure how the Norse, like the Norse kind of follow the chaos gods. I think they call them differently though. There's like
Yeah.
the crow and the stuff like that. I don't know.
See, one thing though is I have suffered exactly 0 deaths on my Norse team, but I've suffered as many serious injuries as I have badly hurts.
Hmm.
So you
That's not good by most accounts.
but no deaths. And I have inflicted as many serious injuries as I have inflicted badly hurts.
Nice. So
So,
apparently the dice just roll high when Asiflix and his Norse are involved. You speaking of Norse and Orcs, you won an FC game today with that matchup, correct?
yeah, my Norse were 400 TV down on Richter's Orcs, which were massive,
Mm-hmm.
but it went well for me. I ended up winning the Bash War by, you know, a fair margin, I would say.
Okay.
And he just didn't defend, so I won.
Hmm. That's a
He went
bold
full on the
strategy.
bash. Yeah, he went full on the bash, and then he lost the bash. So
Well, that'll happen, I suppose.
yeah.
All right. So congratulations, Asiflix. Are you in the? I don't know how many rounds there are. How many games have you won?
I've won 2 and got 1 bye.
Okay, so fairly deep into the tournament now. Nice.
Also, next game I have some dwarves, but who cares about that? If I win that game, I'm either playing against Malmir, Bazakistine, or Crowfair.
Oh my gosh, I don't know the third guy, but I'm assuming that's quite the trio.
Yeah, he's like Baz was telling me about it. Baz fears his wood elves,
Hmm.
so I'm facing 3 legends, or one of the 3, because the other 2 are going to be out.
True, but I mean, you've beaten Bazakistine head to head in the NBFL this season. Maybe,
Hey, and
probably
then
did you? I don't remember if you did. Honestly, I think they were
yeah,
ties.
I beat him, and then I lost.
Ah, okay. So you've got a decent shot there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've ever played Malmir. I know of him, and he had a really cool Dark Elf thrower way back when Dark Elves had throwers. That was like Strength 5 and all this cool stuff, and then he got killed by a rock at the kickoff because that's how a lot of those players seem to go.
Yeah.
But I know he's a hell of a coach, and there's a sizable gap. Okay, the Black Orc coming back. I was about to say this cage it's not very complete if you move that blitzer.
See, that's something I never enjoy, especially with a slow bash team, like being in your own zone
Mm-hmm.
and also ending your turn being in contact with a lot of enemy.
Oh, well.
Ooh, that's a.
You gotta let that go. It's just a baby Minotaur.
So Kansas City has officially taken more Kaz in this game than they have for some some
entire seasons. Yeah, that's wow,
impressive.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's not looking great for them, but they do have the ball kind of mucked up, like you said. They do have 3 players out, 2 of them being the bigs, which completely changes the dynamic of the Renegade roster.
Sure, but if I were to play Renegades, I would prefer my bigs to be out than my superstar linemen, to be fair.
True. I mean, the Minotaur you're not that worried about. He's just kind of a mid-season replacement. The Troll's a really, really, really good roadblock.
Yeah.
Like fouling him with a dirty player and 2 assists, and oh my gosh.
Ooh.
There's another injury. I like this game. This is fun.
Yeah. Hey, you should have seen my game against Richter. On turn 1, both I had 2 apples, he had 1. Right. All 3 apples were gone. There was like 2 deaths. Like he killed one of mine, I killed one of his. Both apples worked. There were like 5 guys out after the first time. It was amazing.
That's playing to win. I like it.
Yeah, it's getting good, as Dash said in spectator chat.
Oh yeah, I know Dash in the NFC North is chasing Gru like most of us seem to be right now. Except, oh my god,
Ooh,
that's
a Kaz on the troll.
Out.
Regen working.
Regen works. Okay, this is getting a little spicy.
All right, that's a 2D block on the ball because Ark has like a billion guard.
Now we did use a reroll already, and it is a blodger, so he is safe without the POW. And there's kind of a lot of room to ramble down the field.
Yeah, but a blodge step prehensile tail Dark Elf, which is amazing. Like that's a super cool player.
It's true. Now we could go on for quite some time about how much prehensile tail is on this team as opposed to like just taking like tackle on half these guys. Like prehensile tail is nice, but if you don't have tackle, even like an elf with dodge, it's still a 3+ with a reroll. For example.
That's fair, but in my opinion, they have enough tackle. Like, sure, I mean when they're out, he's got like 2 on the bench, which doesn't help. Or 1 on the bench, which doesn't help.
One's missing. Yeah, another one's missing. So he's got some. In your division right now, you've got Crichton, Sandogo, who the catchers are going to have Raj and Blodge. The blitzers might. Some of the linos might. It's humans, though, so there's not a ton of it. Yeah. Doofer's Dark Elves obviously have a ton of dodge and Blodge.
Yeah, billion dodge.
There's a good POW on that Dark Elf.
That's a frenzy POW, too, because if you don't get the POW there, then you might get strewn around.
I think he had enough guard in place to make it 2D.
If he went top left, that would have been a 1 die. right? No. It
I
would have
think
been
Doug was
July.
there for
Never
these.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Gazark played it nicely. And then the third team is Denver, which is Lizards. So Skinks obviously have
Yes.
dodge, and then a lot of his Sorai, the way he builds them, are blodgers and sidesteps. So tackle may not be bad.
Yeah. I mean, he probably needs more tackle, and his win rate shows it. You know.
Yeah, I can't say like I have that much experience with Chaos Pact, especially at this level. I did play them in the
Me neither.
NBFL for 4 seasons. First two did not go well. Second two made the playoffs, including was it a conference championship game? That doesn't sound like me. I mean, if I'm just being honest.
What a shame.
Oakland, Gotham, Dallas Palm Boys. There we go. Okay, so first season. Do we have longer seasons? 7, 5, and 6. That doesn't sound right.
That's 18 games total. Oh, because we had builders.
No. Do we just have longer seasons back then? I don't know.
No.
It was back in season 7. I mean, that's literally like the Dark Ages. So
yeah,
either
I wasn't
way.
even alive in season 7.
7, 5, and 6 first season. 4, 6, and 5 season 8. 8, 2, and 4. And I apparently did make the conference championship against Nollins, who that was Bill Brasky's Claw Bomb Chaos team, if I recall. And then I played him in the playoffs next season, the divisional round, and I took like 7 perms, and I'm still seeing like I have not played the team since, so I've got 1 minus AG miss this game, another miss next game, a minus strength miss next game, another miss next game, another miss next game, another minus MA miss next game, and I think I lost a double AG Renegade lineman somewhere along the way. So
you got the treat.
That didn't go well. But
you got the treatment, as they say.
Exactly. No, I enjoyed the team. The only reason it was any good was not me. Is because I had not 1, not 2, but 3 plus strength renegades. So that kind of helps. It was like a little orc team almost.
Also, is it just me, or is that a strange assists to give, right? Because he was already gonna get like enough strength. So why are the renegades there?
It's about sending a message. Also, Dash said he blitzed and failed. I was alt tab, so I'm not sure, but
oh yeah. My bad.
Nah, it's good. Dash is on it. He's got our back.
I was looking at your Dallas Palm Boys.
It was a good roster. Roster. Oh well, but yeah. So I've got 4 seasons of Pact way back when Claw Bomb was a thing. As you said, Arcturus hasn't had a ton of success here. His teams are always, tough to beat, but their record's never quite enough to contend for the division or the playoffs. But
yeah, I'd say that overall he probably, has a slightly under 50% record almost every season.
Mm-hmm.
Right now he's 3, 2, and 4, which is not bad for NBFL standards, because you're gonna have teams that are below 50%. But for a team this size too, I think the introduction of wizards really bothers him.
That doesn't help. And speak of the devil, Kazark does have a wizard for this game.
Yeah. I mean, any team that's playing Kansas City is going to get a wizard, 2 babes.
I would assume so, yeah. Now, this game obviously a little different because they're down to only 25-80 after missing 3 players. Like,
yeah, for like 300K total TV. Yeah. But, speaking of damage this season, man, there's something in the water because teams are not surviving as much as they used to.
This has been a bloody season. I know Dash has been working overtime on the injured and dead players list every week because it's
in week 9 there was something like 4 superstars that died,
and I'm sure you killed one of them.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I probably retired it.
He said he tried.
Oh yeah, that was the week where I played against Jeffro and
oh no, poor Jeffro. I want that team to do good, but boy, I don't know if it's Nuffle or just Corner that bad, but he is not allowed to do good.
See, Dwight Stephenson killed all 3 bloodletters back to back to back. Man, if Dwight doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, I'll be flabbergasted.
A little concerned about using the blitz here before moving the ball carrier, especially if you're going to frenzy into a one-die block. But
yeah,
4 players, youngest was 57. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Like 2 are dead, and 2 got niggled, and the 2 that got niggled was like his past sure hands AG4 block guy, and like his superstar Herald. No, it's minus AG. Now it's niggled too.
Jeez.
Bad week.
Bad week for Jeffro. Before Nick Egads cleared up that spot, if he was back where he was previously, I was saying you had a 2-die block here on this Bob, and you could break tackle the Ogre in and get a shot on the ball, albeit he's a blodger, but I mean, I think that was your only play.
See,
now, I guess you can go in from the other direction still?
I mean, I think you just go for the break tackle, and, you just go for it. Oh, well, that's bad.
That's not good.
Yeah. Double skull breaks armor, doesn't knock out or injure or anything, but he's got 4 players.
Yeah, I think if you
5.
moved Alan Bailey somewhere and then brought the Ogre around for a shot on the ball, it's your only chance, really. Like, I don't know what else you could really do. I don't know. The Pact / Renegade roster is interesting, and there's so much potential for the linemen. Like, you want to make all these cool players, and eventually most coaches have just evolved into taking block, mighty blow, claw, tackle, etc., with some guard thrown in.
Yeah.
Now, the team doesn't have enough ball handling, probably. The Dark Elf is nice. He's very solid. You do have the Renegade lineman he took in the first round last season with Strength 4, Blodge, Sure Hands, Guard. Very good player. So he's decent at ball handling. But you don't have any like extra agility on the team unless one's no extra agility. You don't employ the Skaven or the Goblin due to coach's choice, and I can get that. I mean, the AV7's something to protect. I think you have enough players around them to where you could shield them most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I would employ the Skaven at least. I understand the Goblin, but I would still hire the Goblin, if not purely for the 1 turn.
Yeah, I mean, toss like Surefeed on it to start the season. Yeah. If he dies, he dies. I mean, I hate to go like Rocky 4 on you, but this is the Goblin.
Also, just in general, I think that Renegades can kind of be seen as a bashier human team.
Right.
But humans are actually pretty fast with all their positionals.
Blitzers are 7, catchers are 8. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, normally I'd say that's a big injury because it's a strength 4 guy leaving the pitch, but it's probably his youngest player.
Outside the Minotaur, yeah.
Yeah, and the Minotaur's dead already, so.
Basically. Gonna be having beef tonight on the menu, boys.
Exactly. Meat's back on the menu. Yeah. I mean, even if he's short, I think his team, like, even if you start 9 versus 11, right, you have enough Claw Mighty Blow that you can possibly swing it around.
Yeah, I mean, getting a 1-1 out of this is not the most unlikely result at this point. But
yeah. I mean, I think if you're Zarek, you do not want to end 1-1 against Kansas City.
No, because Zarek needs to keep pace with Cleveland, so he's
also, you pile on. Oh, come on. If you have pylon, why not use it when it kills your defense?
I don't know. I mean, I just played OTS the other night, and he had 2 piling on blockers and chose not to do it a couple times. I was like, oh, thank you. But in general, yeah, it's unfortunate.
See, this is why I don't take piling on my Norse. 1, because I'm against the skill in general.
Right.
But 2, because depending on how you view the game, piling on can either be something where you trade resources to gain another kind of resource.
Okay.
Or it can be a straight dice roll against yourself.
Yeah.
And I view it in the second way, which is I can spend resources to not do anything possibly.
True.
Just directly hurt my chances.
No, in any case. You could look at fouling in the same way, though. You have dirty players and bribes because you're Norse.
Oh, yeah.
But, I don't know. There's always risk-reward with that kind of stuff.
I mean, fouling's a bit different in the sense that it's controlled risks. Like I know what I'm gonna lose from fouling if it doesn't work.
True.
So like I lost against him because
Yeah. That one
I
didn't
lost
work
against
out.
him. But it's more that I figure that if I don't foul in that particular situation, my chances of winning are worse overall.
Okay.
While piling on is more of a you want to push your advantage. You're already winning, you want to win more.
Mm.
Because it's not really a good skill when you're behind because you're putting one of your
On the
players on
ground
the ground.
and using a
So,
reroll. True.
yeah, so
It's
and I
a
mean,
it's a
yeah,
situational thing. There's times where
exactly.
it works out well, and there's times where it doesn't. But
Yeah, for example, I wish that, all of my opponents had been playing nothing but piling on teams before playing me.
yeah, I could I could see the logic in that.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I remember writing in my draft preview article where I went through, identified what each team could look for in the draft and how they've done in previous drafts, or like what kind of style they've done. And I noticed that Kansas City, like as we've said, their record has been just under 500, and they have all these just really experienced players with a bunch of skills, but a lot of them are just overlapping with another. And it can work if you just claw bash your way through everything, and then you have enough prehensile tail to trip up the elves and the lizards and stuff. But there's not a lot of frenzy. There's no stand firm or sidestep or diving tackle, or just other skills to diversify your team for all the situations that come up in NBFL season. Because this week you're facing orcs, and then it's a completely different style when you play Doofer, and then it's a much different challenge when you play Jaemon. And then if you're crossovers against the north, you might end up playing dwarves from Thoralf or something else. So you need to have as many tools as possible, because all these teams are a different challenge. And even a team that doesn't have a good record, like they're still NBFL TV, still have stat freaks, still have mighty blow and guard and all this stuff. So I don't know. Well, there's a piling on, but
that's a that's one of those piling ons where it's more of a you're hoping that something happens rather than this is morally
yeah, it wasn't a vital play. You did have an extra reroll for that turn, so it's not like you didn't, you lose anything by doing it. But
Also, I feel kind of bad bringing this up, but
oh,
according to our very own XCon,
oh
uh,
no.
tonight's this season's Super Bowl is going to be between Cattle Chaos and the Jacksonville Jordos.
Mm, I don't remember
Uh,
saying that. I
yeah.
remember I remember cursing MRT, and then week one you, oh my god, you brought it to life. That's for sure.
See, the reason I went into your predictions is to see where you thought Kansas City was going to end up in the uh like in the its
Division.
own group. Yeah, division.
Mm-hmm.
And you predicted them to be fourth, which I agree with.
Yeah.
Because it's a division that's pretty competitive. There's
Doofer,
Doofer,
Crichton,
Crichton.
Jamon, Arcturus. I mean, I used to call it when I was there, for obvious reasons, the AFC best, because we always had a team that was pretty darn good. Between Crichton's humans, my Dark Elves had some decent seasons. We had a bunch of other teams come in over the years. Robo had a very good run in Denver with some undead, for example. So it was always competitive. It was always fun. Learned a lot, lost a lot. You know, uh,
Yeah.
it's a tough division. It's not any easier now. Like as we said, Jamon's out to a little bit of the lead, but all the other teams have at least 3 wins, I believe. So
Oh yeah.
there's no
It's a
there's no slackers here.
it's a very competitive division.
Unlike the one you're
And
in, that those Norse, I mean, someone's got to do something about them. They're a
hey,
problem.
hey, 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 hey. Me and Baz, at the beginning of the season we said, what would be great if the two rookie teams, made it to the playoffs. And now what we're saying is if we don't make the playoffs, it's
It's a
gonna be a real
failure.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is weird how expectations change over the course of a season.
Hey, my expectations changed on game one. After that game, I was like, oh boy,
Hey said, "Hey, if we can take down the Jordals, we can take down anybody. Let's go."
yeah.
And
I mean, yeah,
so
for
far
sure.
you basically have. And this is what we're talking about, not having I mean, you have to be blessed, but like a movement 8 sidestep player. Granted, the Dark Elf's movement 7 sidestep, but he's kind of
Yeah.
taking a nap. Not having the Goblin, not having the Rat. Just options for a 1-turn. It's not likely. Most 1-turns aren't, but without that tool in the toolbox, maybe there's one game every season you can turn from a draw into a win or a loss into a draw, and that helps your record. But
Yeah, and I think that's a really big point. Like NBFL, just in general, there are teams in which you think they could possibly do 1-turns.
mm-hmm.
Like my Norse have an MA8 or an MA7 with 4 agi, which is, maybe.
That's
A lot of
doable.
teams, yeah, it's doable. A lot of teams, like the Jordals, like when you play Dark Elves, Doofus Dark Elves, they have a lot of sidestep, have a lot of movement abilities to stop 1-turns, and not having the 1-turn opportunity is really lacking, I think, because you gotta try it. If it works twice in the season, you might go from not making the playoffs to making the playoffs.
Yeah, the margin for success and failure in the NBFL is so thin. I mean, 4 points could literally be the difference that keeps you in or out.
Yeah.
Dash asking in the game chat if we like having the Strength 6 guard stand firm troll on the line of scrimmage, or if we have somebody else, for example, like the dirty player or the kicker that's back there.
I put the troll there every time because the troll has regen, so you don't need to apple him.
True. But if you lose him, it's a good player, but I'm not sure it's like something you like have to have.
Man, a rookie like troll with guard, which you're gonna have next season, bare minimum, right? Is not that much worse than a experienced troll with strength 6, because the troll's not,
He's just a troll. He do his thing. He's stupid sometimes, but we love him anyways. On the big guy discussion, do you favor the strength or do you skip that and take block, for example? Because
I take the strength because I use them as roadblocks.
Okay.
And I don't use them to hit aggressively. I use them defensively. So when they're strength 6, a lot of times people are gonna struggle hitting them.
But they do it anyways, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's like there was this one player on Matthew's orc team, right?
Okay.
It was strength 7, block dodge pro. That a troll.
Oh.
And I saw so many coaches going for you have the basic dwarf, right?
Right.
They were putting 6 of them, trying to block him down, and then he just go around, steal the ball. I was like, what am I watching?
What are you guys doing?
It doesn't even have guard.
Just throw a -2 die out with block and tackle. You might take it down.
No. You put a rookie dwarf in front of that troll, and that troll doesn't do anything for the rest of the game.
True. Dash saying, declaring even that if the troll was killed or niggled on, the early block here by a claw mighty blow guy or just a big guy, you would use the Apo. I don't think that's the case when you've got, Doug Netherland, a very good blitzer, Alan Rage, a very solid tag team partner, but the cream of the crop, Nick 6 seasons EGADs from the Rolla Gola program of keeping players a season or two too long. Strength 4, agility 4, guard stand for a mighty blow tackle. I know the Apo's not used to save players; it's used to win games. That's what good coaches tell us. But you're making sure Nick Egad survives so you can win. You don't win because of the troll. You don't win because of a very good guard stand firm block mighty blow tackle black orc.
Okay,
but if he got hurt, I would probably use the apothecary on him. Go ahead.
Unironically, if I have the option between saving Weave Jordan, which is a black orc with 27 SPPs, right?
Okay.
Or that troll. I save the black orc every day of every week of every year because that troll doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the troll's job is to get guard and stand there.
Yeah, if the troll dies, you don't buy another troll, and then you have a wizard for the rest of the year.
That's actually exactly what's happened to me, except I have a Croxagore. because I'm playing Slan, and I had a very nice guard Kroxigor. He took up blocks from everybody the first 5 weeks of the season. He was doing his job perfectly, and then some stupid rotter decided to foul him, and he died, and I was sad, but I haven't replaced him. And I've thought about it because, 5 games left, now 4 games left. I was like, okay, I can probably slap an MVP and a casualty on him, get him to guard for, the late season run, but I haven't done it for that exact reason. Like, I get a wizard basically most of my games.
Yeah.
And that's pretty valuable.
I mean, I will say that Slan and Orcs have different valuations of their big guy. Like, I much prefer the Kroxigor on Slan rather than the Troll on the Orcs.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to, like, let's say a Chaos team, right? If you lose your Minotaur, you don't care about losing that Minotaur.
Yeah, it's just a Minotaur, yeah.
But, a Kroxigor, if we're thinking about Gru's incredible Slan team, his Crocs was really good.
Oh, Clay Matthews, whatever, like the Blodge guard stand firm Kroxigor that just would not bite the dust.
I blocked him way too many times as Chaos Dwarves, which was really stupid. And I know it, and I admit it.
But you had to send a message.
Well, I was young, kind of.
Younger, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say that my record has gone downhill because my Kroxigor is no more, but the record, coincidentally, ever since he got has decreased significantly. So maybe the Kroxigor does help on the Slan, or maybe just other dice rolls or coaching decisions. I mean, no, it can't be the coaching decisions. That's never the issue.
You've lost your Kroxigor and you've taken a perm on a pretty good player, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically all. Your team's pretty intact.
God damn it. I was really hoping nobody would say anything because I have had stupid good luck this season. My team has taken hits and punches and fouls and stuff, and they're just like, ribbit. And they just get up and do the thing. They've been remarkably resilient so far. And that's probably the only reason the team's been competitive. But
hey, I'll say it again. I watched your first game, and I said you weren't going to lose every game. Then I saw your second game, and I was like, now that's better.
The first game was not great. And to be fair, if you watched my second game against OTS, which was last night, both of us looked like we'd never played Blood Bowl before. It was really, really bad. Like, he was on the phone with some, aggravating customers. I was on the phone early trying to figure out when I want to call my girlfriend because she's out of town, and it was she called me, I was busy. I called her, she was busy. She called me, I was starting a Blood Bowl game. So it was one of those situations. And then I left my ball carrier sitting on column 6 and didn't really count the fact that one of the dwarf blitzers could easily reach it. So that didn't look good.
Yeah, it's all right. Those games happen.
Indeed.
I mean, there's also the infamous game of Dasher Show versus Monona this season.
Oh my god, that was a shit show.
And tied. This is the first time that I could say legitimately that the ball was not very important in that game whatsoever. They could have played the same game without the ball.
Basically, yeah. It was an interesting one to watch. It did feel like Menno could have pushed the issue and tried to win late in the second half, but both teams decided to just beat the shit out of each other. And Dash took it worse, but
I mean, Dash took it worse because Menno got lucky on dice.
I mean, that's Claw Bash and Bash in general.
Yeah, he lined up with 6 and tied.
Yeah, that was
impressive.
That was an interesting game to say the least.
And the reason he tied is, we're not going to talk about it on air, but there's a specific reason why he tied.
He didn't.
Also, that's a 7+ dodge.
It almost worked.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you go backwards?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what is he trying to protect here?
Oh, I get it. He doesn't want Arcturus to blitz down Martial Gem.
True.
Because if you blitz down Martial Gem and get a removal with Claw Mighty Blow, then you have free open space.
Yeah, but that's a small gap to like wiggle through, especially if you've committed resources to getting him down. Plus, he has staying
Yeah.
firm, so going north is not a bad call, I suppose.
Yeah, in his shoe, I would also go north.
Mhm.
Like, but ooh, bad.
Also, it'd be really good if your big guys would stop rolling double skulls.
See, that's one of the things though with big guys is they're so unreliable. And I know that every coach ever is going to tell you that, they're so unreliable. Like everyone said that. And then I'm going to watch their games and they're going to turn one blitz GFI.
But hey, if you got like a Minotaur or especially a Bloodthirster, like you're playing the game wrong if you're not blitzing with the
See,
Bloodthirster every turn.
Jeffro's team, right, with Markham for Hunt.
Yeah, best big in the league allegedly.
Best, yeah, he's very good. But big guys are the type of players that I don't think you want to create plays with them. You want to like have a really good position and then put your big guy in the middle of the enemy team and say, you can't move because my big guy's there.
Have fun.
Yeah, but like Jeffro was blitzing my AV7 guys with this claw big, and I was like, okay.
But all your guys are AV7 for the most part,
Yeah,
so
like
I mean, he's got to
you
blitz
know.
somebody. No, I do have some experience playing Corn in this league. I was not great with them. If you can somehow blitz people into the Bloodthirster as opposed to blitzing with the Bloodthirster, I think it's better. But that's a lot harder than it like. It sounds easy, but all these
Hey,
teams with strength 4 and all these teams with like their bullshit, blodge, and sidestep and stuff, it's hard for Corn
there's a reason I picked Norse and not Corn. It,
because you're good with Norse, apparently.
because Norse or AV7.
True.
Also because Norse all start with block, and that's huge.
Kind of better than starting with Frenzy, especially a mid-season replacement.
Yeah.
And
And I
Jeffro's
mean,
needed a lot of mid-season replacements.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jeffro was telling me like because when you look at his past players,
Mm-hmm.
like unironically, there's like a bunch of like rookies.
Right.
And then there's the two guys I killed.
Yeah, he's kept a lot of players through injuries over the past couple seasons, and we're getting
Yeah.
a shot on the ball here by Mr. Nick Egads, and a successful shot it is.
I mean, that's big, but also Nick Egads is now forever out of position for this half. Like Nick Egads never got. Ooh,
Wow,
that's
another
huge.
successful foul on a big guy. Wow,
Yeah,
that
two assists.
if that dirty player is the same one who did his thing earlier, that's two big guys removed with 2 assists twice. That's we need to take some lessons from that guy.
Well, also now Kansas City's can't. They're like not fast enough. They're too slow.
That is the thing about renegades or pact or whatever you want to call them. Also, it's very interesting to use your blitz there that early when you
I
have
mean, you
other
got to
things.
free up some guys, but yeah, I agree. It's not an ideal situation, and by that I mean it's a pretty terrible situation.
Yeah, I think we need to go get the ball. But hey, when you hit badly hurt on the blocker, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I don't know. That is the thing about pact. If you can somehow spread teams out and make sure all the bobs with their guard aren't next to each other, it's ideal. Again,
yes.
easier said than done. When I went to play Nurgle this season, I was like, oh, I'll just spread them out and I'm going to do something once they're all spread. It didn't work. It didn't work at
Okay,
all.
real talk.
Okay.
The best way to spread them out
Mm-hmm.
is to remove them from the pitch.
You've got a point. I don't have
It'll be
any. I don't have a single
$15.
Mighty Blow player on my team, though.
Okay, when you're playing Slan, right,
Okay.
and you're gonna hate this,
Uh oh.
watch some Bazak games and go, oh, that's why he's moving back. Because he moves back, puts a shit ton of like tendrils in the pitch, forcing you to respond to them, and then you have two bloaters at both extremities of the pitch.
Okay, so
Then you can't do
basically,
anything.
instead of just going horizontal, I need to go horizontal and vertical.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's the same idea as controlling like space.
Right.
Is that you want your opponent to fight you in a way which doubles the capacity of the pitch.
I'm gonna cut you off real quick. I know that Arcturus didn't have a lot of good options here, but not only is the ball carrier sitting there with Doug Netherland and Nick Egads ready to pounce, but he's sitting there in the open with both Doug Netherland and Nick Egads ready to pounce.
Yeah. Also, his entire team is like down the pitch.
I don't think you need to fireball. You could definitely zap him, although my zap did not work last night, unfortunately. I'm not sure it would have changed things, but...
See, my zap didn't work against Richter either. In a very unfortunate part, because he had one guy with the ball down, like, super down, far away from everyone. If the zap works, I just win.
Yeah. I had the same thing happen against Gark early in the season. He left his ball carrier on column 1, and half his team started going into my side of the field, and I was like, if I zap him, I'm closer to the ball. And then the zap didn't work, but it's a thought that counts. I was also surprised at the start of this turn that Kazarik didn't take one of his bobs with guard and slap it next to the ball carrier, and then I suppose coming in with Frenzy, which was my initial idea, you could Frenzy the ball into Nick Egad, but he's a sidestepper, so that doesn't work.
Also, just in general, I think I prefer picking up with Doug than Nick Egads, because I want Nick Egads to move and, project threat. But yeah, that's a tough situation for Kansas City.
Okay, that's a better dice roll. We'll see.
It's a better dice roll, but
I think if a sidestep down, that stun does not help Kansas City.
Yeah, and I think you just leave Nick there. You don't move Nick at all.
Yeah, I mean, you're not super worried about him pulling some dodges, but I mean, if you just roll some 6s, right?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, I mean, the reason I say that is because since you don't have a reroll for the picking up, I would much prefer stopping Kansas City from approaching the ball at all than
giving them an unlikely shot, but still a shot.
Yeah, because now let's say you block down Doug Netherland, right? Like, I don't know, you dodge Alan Bailey, you put him next to the 2 blitzers to die. Also, I don't like this. I would have preferred pushing him up to free Kareem Hunt, possibly.
Yeah, that is a thing about teams that like to block a lot. It's very easy to get the block blinders on and go for an extra block when sometimes it's better just to free up a player.
It's okay, you can name them.
No. I think it's something that Blood Bowl coaches in general do a lot of, especially teams like Dwarves, Orcs, like just Bash teams in general. They don't always think about the positioning they could do if they just freed somebody up, and it's one reason why Baz and I play Lizards a very different way than other coaches. Like Kazark, for example, plays them a very bashy way where he's taking space and in your face the entire time. Baz and I will free up players to do more positional stuff, and we'll get out blocked, and while Kazark will double the amount of blocks of the other team. So different styles of play, and perhaps finding the balance between the two is the best thing to do. Terrence Smith with a very heroic play there, but failing the dodge at the end, unfortunately.
See, I talked to Baz a lot about, Lizards, because I'm a bad Lizard coach. I'll be the first one to admit, if you see me playing Lizards, you're going to see me lose.
Okay.
And one of my big issues with Lizards is I just don't understand the whole hybrid play style. I'm just bad at it. But when I play against Lizards, then suddenly it clicks, and I know what not to do.
Okay.
But I just can't play them. So it's strange.
I mean, it's a weird team for sure. You have the strength 4 players that you want to protect because they're your best players, and if you lose one of them, it's okay, but then if you lose another and it starts to snowball, it's terrible.
Sure.
But you don't have those players that you can just mark the opposition with or screen off. Like, your Sorai are obviously tied up most of the time, or they're off doing important things. Your Skinks are very vulnerable but fast, and they can mark players without block, but you don't have that just throwaway 50k Lino with strength 3 who can be a roadblock for a couple turns.
Man, this is what I love about Norse.
Yeah, the cheap fodder that you don't give a shit about.
Yeah, I was playing against a guy that had like, I don't know, 9 mighty blow on the pitch.
Okay.
And I was so happy because every turn he put his entire team into contact.
Yeah.
I'd do one block, I'd put a guy down, I'd foul him or I'd hurt him or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd leave my entire team and I'd just dodge them,
Nice.
dodge them out of contact. If they go down, if they die, I don't care.
They're cheap. I just got to go to the nearest tavern in Norska and offer beer and women and the lamentations of the other women and whatever Norskans do. And stuff.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
hey.
It's a good time.
Also, one of my pet peeves about blocking in general is some people will look at the block stat at the end of the game and view it as a medium of like, oh, this team did like 70 blocks and this other team did 35 blocks. So one team played twice as good as the other team.
Yeah. I've definitely started looking at it more because we've had those discussions in different chats about lizards and why is Kazarik doing 45 blocks only taking 20, but why am I doing 30 blocks and taking 40? Like what am I doing so differently? And when I'm playing Slann or Dark Elves, like am I just coaching a poor way to where I'm taking too many blocks? Like what can I do to better my game? And so I've been using the blocks like, okay, am I taking too many blocks? Am I throwing enough? Do I need to do the more like block to position versus the block to block? So I try to use it in that medium. If you are looking at it like, oh, I threw 70 blocks, I played perfectly and I should have won. Like, why didn't I get 30 casualties? It's not that. It's not meant for that.
Yeah, that's not how this works.
Yeah. Now,
Like,
if you are throwing 70 blocks and you knock a bunch of people down, I mean, odds are you should probably cause a few casualties, but
Yeah.
it's Blood Bowl. I mean, shit's weird.
I mean, it just reminds me of my game against Gotrek, where he got like 64 blocks against me.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is I stole the ball and left my entire team into contact, and he spent the entire half hitting my team. So I just won. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean it's risky, but I mean Norse versus Nurgle, for example, which I'm assuming is the matchup you're talking about. That's not easy for Norse because you can't get away from the tentacles. They have the strength 4, they have the big guy, and so you're going to take a lot of contact in most cases.
Yeah,
but if you have the ball, I mean you're happy, right?
Yeah. See, like my Ulfs, right?
Mm-hmm.
My Ulfs are both my best players by far because they're strength 4, ME6, bludge guard, or block guard.
Right.
But at the same time, they're not the reason why I'm gonna take the ball and put it in the end zone.
No.
If you spend your entire time blocking my Ulfs, then I don't know, something's gonna happen.
Astaflix is a happy man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, that's bad skulls.
That's better.
Yeah. I kind of don't. Ooh, okay.
That's also better. That's probably it for KC, unless Nick Egas just falls on his face here, pulls a Daniel Jones or something.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for them to score now.
Also, to what we talked about, they have 4 players tied up on 3 orcs at the bottom. If they could somehow free up 2 of them, it'd be significantly, helpful. But now that Nick Egas can't trip over his own feet,
I mean,
feels
you can't really move Nick up the pitch right now because if you do, you're gonna get swallowed up.
Maybe, but he's strength 4 and the wrestler's way back there. I mean, yeah, you could probably move the Bob down 2 squares and put Nick kind of like in a cage looking thing right here. But
yeah, I'd put Nick in a cage in a heartbeat right now because if you move up the pitch, then maybe you're gonna lose.
I mean, there's quite a few people much prefer him being a casket, but
exactly.
Take your own shot at him. Don't have somebody else do it for you.
I mean, speaking of taking your own shot at him, I'm gonna be playing Gotrek for the second time. I don't know when because he needs to play his week 10 game.
Okay.
But when that happens, you're going to see the real meaning of lose the battle to win the war.
That'd be an interesting one.
Because I expect to lose the battle, but win the war. Yeah, I have 2 guards.
Oh boy, the old Pyrrhic victory from Total War Warhammer 2.
Wait, no, that's not true. I got 3 guards because one of my catchers leveled up.
Ooh.
Also, that's a big knockout.
That is a nice knockout. I mean, if you're going to get back in this game, you've got to free up your boys,
Yeah,
force
and you gotta
Nicky
get them
Gaz
into
to
the
do
play.
something, and then just roll some dice. You do have 4 rerolls somehow.
I would never have appoed this, like that knockout. It would never even have crossed my mind. So I'm surprised that Xark, like, because if that guy's stunned, right? He's stunned for 2 turns, so he's gonna wake up on your turn 8
Yeah,
or like turn 7.
he doesn't tie anybody up. I'm not sure it was a thinking delay as much of a paying attention delay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, it's possible he considered it. It's not something I do often. I know Baz has tried to hammer this point on these broadcasts or just in general where using an apothecary on a KO is actually like a very valid and good strategy.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, but good player could die. So I've got to get around that a little bit.
This is why you need to play my Norse team, because we have 1 good player.
That's true. You're not as worried about it if you only got 1 guy to worry about.
Shit,
okay,
if Dwight dies, I get like 2 wizards.
If only it worked like that. I know you're going for like the block here, and you get an injury out of it, which is cool. But there's really no defense up here to stop Nick Egads.
Yeah, now you move up the pitch.
And Kazar's going for the wizard just for the hell of it, I guess. You get a fireball here of 3 players.
Yeah, you fireball 3 people. Because it don't target people who are down already.
Okay, he went for a different 3. Knocked down 2 of them. And
now you move up the pitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it was worth it.
Yeah, that's alright.
And that's not great.
At Juggernaut. Still not great, but Juggernaut.
I mean, technically that is the closest person to you. And the guy at the bottom, MD Callow, is movement 5, so...
He might move back now.
No,
which would be surprising.
I wouldn't put the ball anywhere near my own end zone. There's no ball handling capabilities for the Renegades, so even if you do fumble it in their half, the odds of them getting it downfield to another guy is difficult.
True.
Possible, but difficult.
See, this reminds me of a game that I played on Blood Bowl 2, Heresy, I know, where basically the game was over, but the guy hit like a 6+ dodge, knocked the ball loose, and then I sniped the pickup.
Oh.
I almost smashed my computer.
Classic.
It was like Orc versus Nurgle. Like a bloater does like a dodge in, minus 2D block, double pow. I'm on the ground. I don't pick up the ball. It ends in a 0-0 tie. I was like, oh god.
I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Exactly.
Interesting. I've only have a little experience with BB2. I played the story mode on console, and then I played like 1 story mission on PC because it was like $5, and basically losing money by not getting it when it was on sale. But is the dice generator like different, or is that like just a theory? Because it did seem different. Like in the story mode, it was like it would just give you POW after POW when you're playing. I'm like, man, this game's easy. I'm the greatest Blood Bowl coach ever.
Okay.
But the AI is also really fucking terrible.
Okay. I have no proof because I can't find the thing that I swear I saw once. But what I saw was they had like they were actively breaking streaks of bad luck.
Okay.
Like they didn't want you to roll like skull after skull after skull. So what I remember is they have a system where basically if you roll double skulls, right? And you re-roll into double skulls, that's not gonna happen the very next action.
Okay. That's
like they have like weighed dice in the sense that they actively break like streaks.
Okay.
And you can notice this in a very peculiar manner. If you pile on after a double 1 on the armor roll, you're gonna break armor no matter what.
That's kind of broken. But
I can explain this in a totally scientific way where I did it and I broke armor every time. I have 3 examples of me doing it on double ones against AV9.
Mm-hmm.
So I roll double ones in armor, and then I pile on against AV9. And then I have 2 examples of it happening to me.
Okay, 5 is still technically a small sample size, but it feels like you're onto something.
At double ones into like Kaz, every time.
Interesting. Yeah,
anyways.
Like in my very limited experience, probably less than 15 games, it felt like there weren't those instances like you're saying where you just like bad luck after bad luck after bad move.
Like sometimes on Fumble, the game's gonna be a joke. Like you're not gonna play.
Yeah, like you just can't do anything.
Yeah, I have one game with my vampires. That was, the conference or the division, whatever, against Mr. T.
Oh, in the playoffs, that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever like.
Yeah, what's that game?
I felt so bad for you. I was like, oh my god, the dude can't even like. It wouldn't let you be competitive.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, I made the playoffs with the Vamps, so that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, the goal has been reached. The mountaintop has been climbed. It's over.
See, this is what bothers me. Relicite, which won NBFL with Norse, albeit in a different era, I will admit.
Right.
But, he won NBFL with Norse.
Yeah.
Then I played Vamps. He switched to Vamps and won the Super Bowl with Vamps.
Look,
God damn it.
He's worried about you. He's got to make sure he's the better man, I guess.
Man, he's like, what's the term? Like, pouring rain on my sunshine or whatever.
Something like that. Raining on your parade.
Yeah, exactly. Like that.
Looks like we're gonna get a blitz out here with Nicky Gads. And if it doesn't work for some reason, you just take your 2+ dodge. But
nice hit.
It does work. He's downfield. He'll probably get a score before the end here. And
now, there's something that really bothers me with what he's doing. Who are you gonna hand off to? Because Nick's already a legend. He don't need no SPPs.
No, but I think the only reasonable way to get him downfield was to do that. And the other blitzer was back in column 10. He's not in scoring range. The Bob wasn't in scoring range, so...
Yeah, now you dodge with Doug, and you hit that 6+ or whatever it is. Put him in range.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Allen can't get... I don't think we're going to get a random orc touchdown, unfortunately.
What a shame. I can't believe this.
Flabbergasted. I do know that my NCBB team with the Lizards, I had a young, second year. He's going for it, apparently. Is he listening in? He's not supposed to do that. But I had a young Blocksaurus die like the second to last turn of a game of Bloodthirster Goddess. And I was kind of bummed about that. But then my Croxagore, who's also in his first year, I got to 16, and so after having guard, I slapped Stand Firm on him, and then I'm like, okay, you're done. I'm never giving you another MVP for the rest of your time in college. He is done. He is perfect.
That's also one of the weird things. I have an orc team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the troll's been there for 40 games.
Okay.
And I've put a lot of MVPs on him early on.
Right, get him guard and all that.
His first, 5 games or so, he got 3 MVPs. So he was at 16, right?
Okay.
Then I never touched him. He got, a really strange number of Kaz. He keeps Kazing people, and I blocked, twice a game with him.
He said, I gotta make this one count. Bah!
Per game, he has 2.5 blocks.
Okay.
And he's at 38 SPPs now. 9 Kaz.
Well, speaking of casualties, that's one way Apothecary, and it does work. Very nice.
Now you foul.
That's well, I mean,
you surround that black orc, and you put a boot down. You have your DP too. Go kill it. Come on, Ark. Come on.
He's gonna throw the block instead.
No.
Aww.
It's your turn. Aw.
Sad ass to flick noises.
Yeah, if you kill that black orc,
also you had a reroll. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, hey, it's kind of troll to turn 16 foul. A guy
Yeah.
that's not in your division, but
Yeah, I mean, this would not qualify under Baz's laundry list of speeches about fouling an opponent that's going to help you beat your rivals later. Well, I don't know.
see,
It might, because Pittsburgh still has to play probably Crichton
nobody
and somebody.
nobody gave me that speech after I fucked up MRT and Menno's teams. Nobody was like, "You shouldn't have done that."
Well, Menno was like round 6, and so he's only can get maybe one shot at another one of your rivals. MRT is in your division, so by all means, destroy his ass, because, he's your chief rival now that, well,
No,
he
it's
was. Now it's Baz. But, in preseason, we were like, yeah, MRT, great team, 2 rookies in the division. He's going to be,
Yeah, he
assuring
predicted him
for the
to win the
AFC
Super
Championship.
Bowl.
Yeah, like it was easy street, like undefeated regular season. And then the Dwight Stevenson happened week 1. But
Uh,
all right,
see,
we should wrap this up. Pittsburgh
Yeah, I don't-
Steelers emerged with a 2-0 victory over Kansas City, so they move neck and neck with Cleveland. I think both are 6-1-2. We said 6-1 and I think 6-1-3.
yes,
Although Pittsburgh, I think, has the head-to-head lead for now.
yes.
So Kansas City, some work to do perhaps in the West, but still 4 weeks to go. Who knows what can happen? Maybe the Norse implode. Maybe Pittsburgh regains their early season momentum. I don't know.
As a last comment before we wrap this up, I'd just like to make a quick checkup on like the playoff situation
Okay,
on the conferences, if you would like.
go ahead.
Right now, if everything stands as it is, me, Denver, Miami, and Pittsburgh make the playoffs.
Okay.
Cleveland is first by, and Houston would be second by. And on the other side of the pond,
Essentially.
yeah, when someone's leading the division with 35 points, or something like that. That's interesting. That reminds me of me last season.
Yeah, I mean, there's some room for improvement.
Yeah.
But
All right. Thank you, XCon. That was fun.
Thank you, Astaflix. We had a blast. We had a good game with some blood, so we can't complain. We'll catch everybody next time.
Yep. See you.